Minasan konnichiwa. Thank you for following my channel. Today's video topic will be about Japanese. I know now I started to take video in English because my audience target is different, but I would like to talk today about importance of knowing Japanese in Japan. Some people who come to Japan, if you're like foreigner, if you're like influencer, if you're model here, like maybe you know that it's not might be necessary like to talk Japanese, or you might ask questions such as why should I know Japanese, or why Japanese is important if like I'm just staying here for a while, or why people can speak English in Tokyo. Today I would like to discuss all those questions and give some short answer from my point of view. Please watch it until the end, don't forget to follow me and put notification on this video. Let's go! First point I would like to share with you, how did I learn Japanese? At first actually I started to learn it after my first visit to Japan, so it was maybe 2020. I started to learn Japanese in Ukraine with my teacher. She's Ukrainian. I took some private lessons from her, but I guess it was like kind of waste of time because if you're not in Japan, if you don't study with native speaker, not impossible, but very difficult to find teacher who can really like teach you correct grammar and who can really understand keigo. Keigo is polite expression of Japanese, but my teacher, she's kind of like was not good in teaching. And when I came to Japan in the end of 2020 and I went for this lesson with Japanese teacher, Japanese one told me that
actually your like sentences and your Japanese is kind of incorrect and you have to start like from like the beginning.
It was kind of like, you know, I was trying to study Japanese in Ukraine and I feel like just pity, so I wasted my time for learning incorrect Japanese. That's why if you really decide to study something, definitely it's better to pay a little bit more for like even online classes with Japanese person rather than to find someone in your country. After I realized that I have to study Japanese again almost from the beginning, except like hiragana, katakana and some simple kanji, I started like to take private lessons with native speaker. Actually, if you would like to share me like the best teacher ever, like yeah, I found like the best teacher ever in my private lessons in Koto Academy school. This was an amazing time. I was excited like to come for each lesson there. So I found like my best teacher in the school. It's like Hashimoto Sensei. And like if you would like to share me her contacts, if you're learning Japanese, please let me know in the comments or direct me on Instagram. After I stopped studying there, I started like to attend full-time classes in UGS language school, and currently I'm still attending the school. Almost finished, but I'm still studying at this school. This school actually uses uniqueness, and if you would like to take a free trial lesson or get like some discount for this school, please register on uniqueness if you're an influencer who has over 1,000 followers on social media. After I started like almost intermediate level, I get like into UGS school, and just here I learned more like kind of slowly and more detailed the language. I had like more time to study kanji, and every season I write this like kanji, and I have like a lot of notebooks with kanji. But anyway, the point here, why should you speak Japanese and learn Japanese even if you can use English? There are several points. First one is like the most Japanese cannot speak English. Like maybe they can understand, but for them they feel uncomfortable to speak English. The reason is that in some schools education is based on writing, on reading and so on, but not on speaking. That's why like speaking level in Japan is so low. Second point is you might miss opportunities that knowing Japanese give you. For example, when you open your Instagram, if you're an influencer, you know that there are sometimes direct messages from potential clients. They might write everything in Japanese, and Actually, the most expensive my model job was direct message from Instagram in Japanese. And just imagine the situation, if you have no idea about Japanese at all, how can you reach the opportunity if you are like can't even understand like hiragana, or like don't even like notice like speaking or like looking at the Japanese text. Or if you're promoting yourself like influencer, like a model, and if you would like to collaborate with some brands to get paid, of course you also can miss some opportunities, because if you contact some brand in Japan, or if you contact some potential company, like you are thinking they might be a client, you can communicate with them in Japanese. Of course, here is better to know keigo, and it's better like to be polite. But anyway, just even simple conversation you can't make with them. So you also miss like your opportunities and your job and your money, of course. Like it's your profit. Third point about why Japanese is important is that sometimes even if you get job through the agency, right? Like, or like if you go to audition, your agent might speak English, but like clients don't usually speak English. And in Japan, usually you go to the job without agent, right? Like if you go to the job without agent, you have to communicate with photographer, you have to communicate with the staff, or like if you promote something, you have to ask them like 動画でいいですか? or 写真か動画どちらの方が撮った方がいいですか? Like some simple sentences, even like without like very complicated polite language. It's better like to speak a little bit Japanese rather than not speak at all. Sometimes team doesn't speak, like as I told before, sometimes like Japanese people even don't notice English message. Like for example, if you ignore Japanese message and if you contact someone like potential clients in English, clients also might not notice your message because it's English. They don't want to waste their time, because you get less competitive than the person who can speak Japanese. And for example, if you have perfect face but no Japanese, or if you have like normal face but you can speak Japanese, priority will be the person who can speak Japanese, or who can like at least understand Japanese. Now I understood like why during my first trip to Japan I get like almost very few jobs. Because of that point, like I couldn't speak Japanese at all. Most of people prefer like to take person with whom they can communicate. It's very important. Like finishing with this topic, please don't forget to put a like and ask me any questions that you are interested about learning Japanese. Also feel free to ask me about the discount from Uniqueness. We go to the last point. How should you start? To start, like it's, of course, as I told before, it's better like to hire like someone, or even like, you know, there are many language exchange websites. You can just Google App Store, language exchange apps, like that, or find some Japanese online. Or the best way, of course, like private lessons, or like go to the school to learn study Japanese. But at first point, like if you don't have time or resources or anything, you can just like buy some books like Genki, like that. Whereas I have like explanation in English. Of course, it will be very difficult to study alone, but just in case, like it's like some optional to study alone, and if you have enough motivation to study alone, they have explanation English. They have explanation English that makes your life kind of easier, but makes your process longer. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video until the end. I hope it was helpful. Don't miss opportunities just because of the language. I think you can, if you're motivated enough to stay in Japan, and if you really would like to focus on like making your personal brand, if you'd like actually to make some videos or create a content for a Japanese audience, please remember to learn Japanese. Okay, thank you so much for watching. See you in next video.